All right. So here we go. So for chapter 10, it was talking about copy certification. So is there anyone here that your state does not allow copy certification as a notarization type? No? Everybody here can do copy certifications?
Yes. Virginia.
Okay. Okay, cool. So did you guys have any questions about it? Like I started off a few things that I want to talk about, but I've done them before. So I don't really have any questions about how to do them or why people would do them and what types of documents you can certify a copy of. But is there anyone here who has not done a copy certification before or has not even started doing notarizations at all and doesn't really know what it is about, even after reading the chapter?
I have never done one or any notary acts yet, but I did read it and I did understand.
Okay.
Same for me.
Okay.
Same for me. I haven't done any, but I did understand the chapter.
Okay. So
I haven't done any, and you told us about your experience, so I kind of understood.
I did.
But when I was reading it, I'm like, well, it pretty much says nothing can be copy certified. So then I was like, what would somebody want to copy?
Mhm. Hello, welcome. So for my specific situation, the person needed to get a passport certified copy because he was applying for his residency as a doctor. Sometimes they will, like when you're applying for a job, sometimes they want a certified copy of your degree or your high school diploma or something like that. You don't want to just give them the copy of that, so you would get a certified copy. You have to have that notarized. Notaries are one of the public officials that can certify copies.
Okay,
So,
I think I read that paragraph wrong then when I was reading about institutions. So they're basically saying your transcript can't be copied because that's the one that you pay for. But your actual diploma, stuff like that, you can get a certified copy of.
yeah, so basically is if they can obtain a copy from the party that issued it, then you can't certify a copy of it. Like you can't, get another copy of your passport. Like, you have to like apply for it again, right? As far as your diploma goes, when your diploma is issued to you, you are the only person that has it. So, or you can pay to get another original document, but they're not going to give you a copy. Ooh, that thunder was loud. Yeah. So in those situations, you would, if they want to have a copy of, some type of letter from your job or something. I mean, just you can do certified copies of those, but no vital records. So like birth certificates, death certificates. You can't get those. Marriage certificate. Can't get that. What was another one? They don't really want you doing a driver's license either. Not getting a certified copy of your driver's license, which I thought was kind of weird, but okay. What's another one? Oh, like those immigrants. So I was looking at the immigration records. They don't want you because I had someone call me. They needed to get a copy of their visa because they applied for something and they requested a copy of their visa. And they didn't want to send their visa, obviously, right? The original document for proof because, who knows what can happen. And, that's a really important document. But I was reading in here that there are some immigration documents that you cannot get a certified copy of. And I've never seen them before, so I went ahead and Googled them to see what they look like. And they basically look like, like kind of like a birth certificate, really, but it's an immigration certificate. So now that I know what they look like, I'll know when somebody asks, I cannot certify a copy of that.
So basically, like vital records, we can't make copies of if it looks like a vital record.
Yeah, they don't want you because they can just go and get a copy from the source. You know? Good evening. Oh man. Oh wow, Sabrina. Is she on here? Oh man. Yep. So when you are like, okay, so do any of you guys have a physical location, like a office where customers can come to? So then it will be kind of difficult for you to do a copy certification for someone, right? Not unless you have a mobile setup in your car, like some people do. I take customers in my home office. I've set up an office in my garage. So I will have customers come to me. But before I had that, I will have them meet me at a place where I can make a copy. So I would charge them to make the copy, and then I would charge them for the notarization itself because you can do itemized costs in your receipt. You just have to make sure that they agree to it beforehand so it won't be like a surprise, like, oh, what's this for? You know? So the person that I did it for, I had him meet me at my local FedEx and I made the copy for him there. And then I went ahead and did all my notarization paperwork, certificate, like that. So you definitely want to make sure that when they make copies or, you know, if they made a copy themselves, they need to still bring the original with them so that you can look at the two and make sure that it is an actual copy of that document. Okay. It's preferred, though, that you make the copy yourself from the original document. But if you can't do that, then that's another option. Have them make a copy themselves and bring it to you. But they have to make sure they present the original document as well. That's the only way that you can yourself feel comfortable with signing off saying, yeah, this is a copy of a true original document. Now let me see what else I had start off here. Did you guys have any questions about that?
No.
Okay. Now for here, now this is what I didn't know. Now it says it is preferable to fasten the certificate as a cover sheet for a copy certification. And I was like, oh, because usually when I attach a loose certificate, I usually attach it to the back of the document, right? But when I saw that they said it's preferable to fasten a certificate as a cover sheet, that does make sense, right? So the first thing they see is the actual notarization, and then they'll see the copy on the back. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that does make sense. When you guys attach a loose certificate, it is preferable that you attach it with a staple. Okay. Some documents you're not allowed to attach a staple, but that's why on the bottom of the certificate, if you have a certificate that has that bottom portion that the National Notary Association offers, where you can fill it out saying exactly what document the notarization belongs to, otherwise they're not going to be able to tell if somebody took the paper off and attached it to another document. If you staple the document, they'll be able to tell because it's going to have those two holes at the top, right? If you have that extra optional section, they'll be able to also tell because, okay, the title on the certificate says this, but you're showing me this other document. So that doesn't go to that. You took this off of another document. So those are some key things that you guys can do to ensure that your loose certificate is not being used on some other document. Certified copy of, and then I didn't know this either. You would certify a copy of your journal entry. So the notary would be requested to provide a certified copy of a particular journal entry. In these situations, typical certificate wording would be, so I didn't know that if you produce a copy of your journal, like, if a court requested, I didn't know that you'd attach a certificate to that. So that was new for me too. I was like, oh, okay. Very interesting. Very interesting.
So you would attach that certificate and you would notarize it? If you're certifying a copy of your journal entry, would you then notarize the certificate saying that this is your journal entry?
Mm,
That was confusing to me when I read it.
okay. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking that too.
Mm-hmm.
It says signature and seal of notary, but you can't notarize your own signature.
Yeah.
So, the significance of this wording is that it describes the original as an official notarial record in my possession rather than as a document presented. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I will have to look that up or ask my Secretary of State and see what they say about that.
Yeah, I may inquire too.
And then, it might also be in your notary handbook. If you have a notary primer or notary handbook, it might be in there too. Because I swear every time I look at mine, I find something new. And I've read the book before. And I'm like, dang, I didn't remember this. I like looking at that.
Yeah.
So that is what we would do tonight, guys. After the meeting, we'll look and see if that's the case. Do we notarize? Stop, kitty cat. Ow. No. Do we notarize it? Do we have another notary notarize it? So yeah, that's a really good question. Now, another one I start off here under on page 141, performing a typical copy certification. Step 3, identifying the document custodian. Now, obviously, if you're certifying a copy and their name is on it and you've already ID'd them for your journal entry, then it kind of makes sense. But it does say that it's not a requirement for you to ask for identification when you're doing a copy certification. And so I was like, oh, that was interesting as well. If no suspicious circumstances were present, the notary still could proceed even if Miss Owens could not positively be identified. So I was like, really? Because I just automatically, like for my situation, he had a passport, so I didn't have to ask him for ID. His passport is a valid identification form. But if it was a diploma and it had a name on there, then wouldn't I want to see the ID to make sure it matches the diploma that they're producing? But you can do it. It doesn't say that you can't, it just says it's not required. So meaning you don't have to do it, but if you do it, that's okay too. Okay. And
I did have a quick question.
okay.
In one of the earlier chapters, and I probably have this wrong, but I thought whenever we gave a loose certificate, it suggested that we split the verbiage because of that very possibility of fraudulent, using the notary certificate for a different document, to split it. So since we're using it for a certified copy, it would be awkward to split that. And if we come across a document that doesn't allow a staple, what do we do to prevent it being used for an incorrect document we didn't notarize?
So if you have a certificate from the National Notary Association, let me show you.
Yeah.
On the bottom of that certificate, it has an optional section for you to fill out, and you're able to put the name of the document you're attaching the certificate to, how many pages the notarization includes, which would now include the loose certificate, and then who was the signer on that document that you notarized. I'm not going to take it out, but this is how it looks. You see that?
I do.
Okay, so this here is an optional section. So you would fill that out. I always fill it out even though it's optional. That way you know what document this was intended for. Because I put the title right there.
And is that just the loose certificate that's found on the Secretary of State website?
No, this is the loose certificate that I got from the National Notary Association.
Oh, okay,
Now,
gotcha.
now guys, keep in mind you can make your own certificates. Okay. All you need to do is look on your state's website and get the wording, and you can copy and paste that into a Word document. Add your venue, add your signature line and area for you to seal, and you can also add in that optional section. All you gotta do is type it out. Okay, I've done it before. Because I'm a member of the National Notary Association, I use that. But if I wasn't a member, I can just type it out, and I've typed them out before for other people. Let me see.
Okay, I have a question about that because I'm also a member, and
Yes.
the only document that it lets me print out is the acknowledgement. But when I called them, they were like, "You should be able to," but all the
Yeah.
other links, like when I click on them, it doesn't actually work. So I didn't know if it was maybe just me and my phone, and I should try it on like my computer.
Yeah, try it on your computer. When it comes to going on the NNA and printing out stuff, I highly recommend you use a computer, not your phone.
Okay, gotcha.
Because remember, most of these websites, they are Google Chrome or Firefox friendly. So what type of phone are you using?
I have an iPhone, but I always use Google Chrome for everything. I don't use the
Okay.
Safari.
But do you use it in the desktop version or mobile version?
It's probably automatically in mobile.
Okay, so they are, they're mobile friendly, but they work better if you're on a desktop.
Gotcha.
So maybe try changing to desktop version and see if it works. And if it still doesn't work, then go on your computer. That's what I suggest.
Thank you.
But for some of the sites, I have to change from mobile version to desktop version. So some of them are a little funky like that. But I wanted to show you guys the certificate that I created. Hold on just a second. Might be here under download. Notary certificates. No. Okay, I'll just go to the app then. Let me just go to Canva. I created mine in Canva, but it's much easier if you do it in Word. Much easier because at least you can create the lines in Word, just by, using the dash button. In Canva, I had to pick lines and size them and all that stuff, and that was really a headache. So hold on. I'm gonna share my screen. Let me guys know if you can see it. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So let me find the certificates. Let's see. Yeah, and they're so easy to do. I see people post all the time. Where can I find certificates? It's like, dude, just make them. Just make them on Microsoft Word. They're not hard. All you're doing is copy and pasting the word from your notary handbook. Now, if your state doesn't have a notary handbook, then yeah, that would be a little difficult to do. Okay, so here it goes here. It will load. Okay, let me zoom in here a little bit. Maybe zoom out a little bit. Okay, but you see here, all you're doing is adding a venue. I copied and pasted the words from my my state. I added some lines, added a place for me to put my seal. And you see this optional section? I just typed that out, just put that here. So you can literally make your own certificates by just adding this optional section and using the words and, however the certificate looks for your state. I'm in Florida, so this is how my Florida one looks. And I also uploaded copies of these to the file section in the group for you to have as an example. So if you're not in Florida, you can't use the same wording. You will have to change it, but at least you can download this and use this as an example of how you want to, as a template to make your own using Word. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing. All right. So are we done with chapter 10? I think that was pretty easy. All right. You're welcome. So let's go on to chapter 11. So chapter 11, I don't know if this applies to anybody on here, but in the state of Florida, we can't do
I
this.
do have one question.
Okay.
I apologize. I was trying to get off mute. What do you do with the copy that you made
You give them the copy.
for the certification? You give them the copy
Yep.
that
You
you
give them
made?
the
You don't keep anything. Okay.
no. Once you make the copy, you stamping it, certified copy of true original. I forget the name of it. Hold on. Have a stamp for that.
Oh,
After you make the copy, you're gonna stamp it. Okay. Certified to be a true, exact copy of original. And then and that's what you're gonna give them. You're gonna put this, and then you're gonna sign and date it. On my stamp anyway. And if most times when you make a copy, they don't want you to attach a loose certificate. They want you to stamp the actual document with the verbiage. That's the issue that I had with my last one. So I have a copy certificate stamp. So
okay.
so when you make the copy, you're gonna give them the copy because that's what they need to send off to whoever is asking for it.
That's right. That's right. I'm sorry. Okay, I was late. Thank you.
No, you're fine.
Okay, so we can use the stamp that has the copy certification verbiage on it.
Mm-hmm. Just make sure when you make the copy, you leave some room for you to put the stamp.
Okay.
Or if they
And the
have a
stamp
copy.
would actually, and the stamp will go on the copy version of what you made.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. And if you don't have a stamp, you're gonna stamp on there, see attached certificate. Hopefully you have a true copy stamp though. For those copies, you want to have a copy stamp, or you're gonna have to write it on there. Write it on there and sign and date it. But
So if you don't have a stamp, you use the loose certificate
yes,
and attach to the copy
Mhm.
and stamp the copy, that verbiage that you shared with me. Okay.
Yeah. If you have a true copy seal, like true copy stamp, like I do, you're going to let me show you. Hold on. It's better if I show you.
If you have the stamp, you don't have to attach that, though, do you? Because it has the wording on it.
Exactly.
But you would still need to stamp it saying that this is a certified and true copy, though, right? Or write it.
Right. That in essence is the loose
Or write it on
certificate.
there. Or you can write it on there.
Okay.
So this is what you would do. Okay, so I made the copy. Okay, this is the copy that I made. Okay, so if you have a stamp, I'm gonna stamp it. Okay, and I'm gonna sign and date it. Okay, then because at the time I didn't have a certificate stamp, I'm going to hold on. Sorry guys, I have my copies in sheet protector, so hold on. Then I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to fill this out. And my notary stamp is going to go on here. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm going to attach this to the top of my copy. And I'm going to apply a staple. If you cannot apply a staple, you can apply a paper clip, but you just want to make sure you fill out this optional section so that they know this was attached to a copy of whatever it is you made a copy of. So they can't use the certificate on anything else. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep. And then one more thing. The verbiage on that stamp for the copy says what again?
Oh. Certified to be a true and exact copy of original. I just ordered that off of Amazon.
And do you only stamp the first page?
You're going to stamp the copy that you made.
So if it's 5 pages, you only stamp.
I'm on here.
If it's 5,
It wouldn't be 5 pages if you're making a copy of their passport or diploma.
mhm. But if it's something else, like some document that is several pages long,
Then yeah, you want to stamp every copy.
every page, okay.
Yep. Yep.
Great. Badass. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we're going to go on to chapter 11. So like I was saying, in my state, which is Florida, we don't do proofs of execution. Is there anybody on here that does do proofs of execution?
I need to check. How do you find that? I probably would have
Yes,
to call.
New Jersey does. New Jersey doesn't do copy certificates, but we do proofs.
You do proofs, okay. So
Virginia
then
does.
this section, this chapter will be for you then. How you will find out is you will look at your state rules. So I didn't know if we could or not, so I looked it up. The state rules are on my phone. I pulled it up, and I'm gonna read it for exactly what it says. Okay. So it was in the frequently asked questions section on my Secretary of State website for notaries. And so the question was, may a notary public accept the sworn testimony of a person who witnessed a signature in lieu of the signer being present for the notarization? Which means that this person is coming to me and saying that they witnessed somebody else sign a document, and I am able to take their sworn testimony saying that they did do that and then still notarize the document. I can't do that. So it says no. Although some states may allow a notarization based upon such sworn testimony, Florida does not. Some notaries mistakenly believe that they may call the signer on the telephone to verify the signature and then proceed with the notarization. Florida law prohibits a notary from notarizing any signature if the signer is not present at the time of the notarization. So in some states, that is allowed. In my state, it is not. But I didn't know for sure.
In my state, it also says that it includes that you have knowledge of the person having signed. You may not have witnessed, but they told you they signed.
What state are you
You know.
from?
New Jersey.
Okay, well, it's good
Which
that you
was
looked it up.
interesting.
Yeah, it's very
It's
interesting
in
because I
my,
was looking
it's in my
like,
pillow.
whoa.
Yeah, so someone can say, you know, I'm going to be out of town, but just so you know, I signed XYZ, you know, can you take it to the notary for me? And that suffices as proof.
Yeah, but the person does have to swear or affirm,
Mhm.
and they have to sign
Mhm.
a certificate saying so. So my
Yeah.
question to you is, okay, Key. So my question to you guys is that 2 separate certificates? A witness certificate and then a proof of execution certificate, or is it just all one?
It's one certificate. It's a proof of execution certificate.
Okay, but
It's
on that
something
proof, on the proof of execution certificate, does it have the verbiage for the subscribing witness and for the? It has both.
That's
Okay.
that's my understanding. I have a copy. I printed it out.
Okay.
Let me see. Get it.
Okay. Yeah, because I was curious about that. I was like, well, I can't do it, but I would like to know that much. Like, is it two different certificates? Let me see. It says here.
Amen.
Oh yeah, it's all in one. Okay. I'm reading it.
Yeah,
It's right here in my face on page 155.
yeah, and it
So
has the language at the bottom that you can document,
okay.
like the NAA
Cool.
certs too.
Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, I was looking at that like, oh, kind of glad I can't do that here.
Not allow that.
Well, I'm kind of glad I don't have to do certs yet, copy certifications, but I think that's going to pass soon.
Can I say my
Yeah.
class, but can I say it real quick?
Huh,
It's
yeah.
cooking. Okay. I just need prayer for discernment with my businesses and stuff, discernment and discipline, because I've been like lazy. So I just need to like a little pep it up, and I have a decision to make if I want to keep doing my own business and or starting back working for somebody else. I really don't want to. I want to keep going with my own investment because I've invested into myself. So that's what I'm praying about right now. So yeah, but I'm in class. I'm gonna go back on mute.
Okay. All right, Miriam. Well, I wish you the best of luck because that's man, the freedom of working for yourself. I'm trying to put that in the works myself.
Sounds like she answered her question. She said she wants to work for herself.
Yeah, girl. I say go for it. If you can get it to where you can, I say go for it. I've seen it's a couple of people that I know. They're not in a notary group and they're not a notary, but I've seen them. They stepped out on faith and are able to do it. One is my husband's cousin, and another girl is just a girl that I know from someone else. And she's opened up her own dance studio. And then the other girl, she's opened up her own shop for aesthetics where she does training and she also does the brows and the lashes and all that stuff. And so she left her government job, okay, making six figures to open up her own
All
esthetician.
right. I need to
Right.
talk to her.
Yes. So, man, I'm just like, I'm gonna be there one day. I'm gonna be there one day.
Okay, we got to keep everybody, all of us in prayer. Amen.
Yes. Amen. Amen. Okay, so I see that it is both on one certificate. It's a lot of
Yeah,
words, but
yeah,
it is both on the
yeah.
same.
It has
Okay,
the
cool.
credible. Yeah.
Okay. And see, I told y'all this is gonna be short. 10 and 11 was short. So did anybody have any questions about chapter 11?
I don't really have a question about chapter 11, but it's kind of about chapter 11 because it talks about oaths and affirmations. I keep getting confused. Like, I know they said one is if you're like swearing into an office or whatever, but the verbiage on the certificates, I'm like, well, how do I know if I'm going to do an oath or affirmation? Did that make sense?
Oh, so you're gonna ask them.
You have to
You're
ask.
gonna ask
You have to ask.
Yeah, you're gonna have to ask the signer beforehand. Tell them. Well, when they tell you which, either if they're telling you that they want to do a jurat, then you're gonna ask them, okay, are you going to be swearing to a higher being or swearing on your own honor, or affirming on your own honor, and they'll tell you which one they want to do.
Okay, so they give
If
us
the doc,
choice.
yes.
Okay.
All right, so then we are done with 11. So we are going to be doing, for the next meeting, we're going to be reviewing 12 and 13. Those are pretty short too, but important. So we're almost, we're getting through it, guys. We're getting through it. So that's all I had for 10 and 11 too. It wasn't a whole lot, especially since chapter 11. Oh, Marion, you're fine, girl. You are fine. This is definitely the place for you guys to ask questions, even if it doesn't pertain to the book. You know, any type of questions about your business or anything notary related. We have an open forum for that. So don't have to apologize. Okay, guys. So, like I said, remember, I was like 10 and 11 gonna be short, especially since 11 I can't do in my state. So, not really a big concern to me. But it was interesting to read about, you know, and to know that there are other states that can do it, you know, because sometimes when people come to me, they're not always from my state. And so I have to try to look. Absolutely. We need all the prayers. I don't have to try to look, you know, when you guys tell me there's different things that you can do in your state. Like I learned in the group that there are some states that require a border around your notary seal. And I didn't think that was a requirement. So I learned something new. So I was like, okay. I was like, okay, cool. You know, because that's one thing I don't mind. I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong, you know, because I didn't think it was a requirement. And she was like, no, it actually is. And then I looked at her handbook and I was like, oh, it is. Okay. I stand corrected, you know. But that's why I don't like answering on just any posts because every state is different. And if you are not familiar with that state's laws, then you should not be commenting on people's posts, you know. And that's why it's important when you make a post, make sure you list the state so you can get state specific answers and not just answers from all across the world, you know, about what they can do. You can't do it.
Okay, I have a question. So
ahead.
I saw in a different group somebody was posting, and she said that right now she's doing the knocking on people's doors for the people who won lawsuit. Okay,
Yes.
so I went to their website and I tried to fill it out, which you probably can't answer this question, but I am going to try to reach out to them. It kept telling me that my email didn't match my NNA certification. So I was like, well, maybe I just can't do it anyways because I'm just a notary, not a loan signing agent. Do you know if you have to be a loan signing agent to do that?
Yeah, I think you do. I think they do want you to be a.
That platform is for loan signing agents, but when you go sign up,
Yeah, right.
ask you like, are you a notary or are you a loan signing agent?
Mm-hmm. So I'm doing them too, but I didn't have to sign up to do it. They just come through like signings do. They just come through to me like that. And the first one I accepted, they just sent me an email with a contract that I had to review and sign. And that was it.
Oh, I'm not on the platform, so I was trying to sign up for the platform. And sorry,
Notary Dash.
I'm over here trying to straighten my hair.
Notary Dash, yeah. Those signing platforms are for signing agents.
Gotcha. So that could be part of the reason why it kept not recognizing me to let me sign up.
Yeah, because with Notary Dash, they're finding you from your signing agent profile, signingagent.com profile. Once you pass the NNA's NSA certification and you do the background check, they automatically list you on signingagent.com.
Okay, that makes sense. I just was curious because I was like, when I went to go sign up on that platform, it did ask, like, are you a notary or are you a loan signing agent? So I was like, oh, maybe I can sign up. But then they kept saying that it didn't recognize my email with any NNA certification.
Okay, yeah. Because remember, as a commissioned notary, you're just commissioned through your state. You're not commissioned through NNA. But when you sign up for the NSA certification, you're certified through NNA with your NSA.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Marion, there are platforms for GNW, but it's not like what you think for signing agent. The GNW platforms are strictly directories where people could just look you up on a directory for general notary work. The signing agent platforms that we're talking about are the platforms that send you work, and you can, accept the work. But for the directory, it's just where people find you, and if they need you, they'll call you. I have a
Is
question
that,
about first. Do you need
you mean like
security?
Yelp or Google? Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what that is.
Yeah,
It's just a
remember
directory.
Yelp. Okay.
Yeah. But the good thing is the title companies also look on there for signing agents.
Oh,
Yeah. So a title company could call you directly if they see that you're a signing agent and have you do a signing for them where you're not going through the signing service.
okay.
So they're good for both. But if you're not doing signing agent yet and you just want to be listed on there as a notary, you can do that as well. Do you need to carry both basic notary public and Ron, or will my basic notary coverage cover both? I'm in Florida, so mine covers both. All I had to do is there was a requirement where I had to increase my bond and my E&O insurance to be a Ron. So for Florida, my bond and E&O insurance only needed to be 7,500, I think. But for Ron, it had to be 25,000, right? Yeah. So for the bond, it has to be 25,000, and the E&O has to be 25,000. So I had to do both. I had to increase it, but it does cover both. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Yes. You have to just increase it. And then how do you get set up for Ron? So key, you have to apply for Ron first. So in-person signing, if you're using your computer, it will be considered an e-notarization, which is electronic notarization, where you do have to be in person to perform that type of notarization. You'll be using your computer, but the person will sign electronically on your computer, and then you will sign electronically and apply your seal electronically, but you guys are physically in person. With remote online, that person does not have to be right there with you. You have to be in your state, but they could be anywhere in the world as long as their transactions pertaining to the US. I don't remember. First of all, it took me a while to get approved by SnapDocs. It took weeks, I think. And I don't know if I've accepted anything from them. Like I don't even remember. Because you get, once you sign up for so many different signing services, they just come in and it won't, I don't think it's going to say SnapDocs, or maybe it does. I don't remember. I just see them come in and I accept or deny them. So I couldn't really tell you. I'm sorry. How you sign up for Ron? So you got to go through your Secretary of State first. You got to sign up for Ron. You're going to have to take the Ron, like, if you go through the NNA, it's like an online thing that you got to do, like, like another class or something like that. But that's how you do it. When you go with NNA, you go through their process, but you still have to apply through your state as well. And when you apply through your state, they're going to want a copy of your notary commission certificate, and they're going to want a copy of your bond and your E&O insurance, and then the application, and then the $10 money order, and then you send that all in, and then they'll get back to you. I think it maybe took like maybe a week for me, because the first time I applied, I forgot to send a copy of my commission. So they sent it back and I had to redo it. I was like, oh, dang. What company is best for Ron? All of them are. I mean, like, there's like no one company that's better than the other. The only difference would be the pay. Like, I'm with one notary and Notarize. I haven't done any transactions with Notarize, which is I just haven't found the time to sit on my computer and do it. But with Notarize, you're servicing their customers. So it's kind of like a call center setup. When you go on there, you sign in after you get approved, because you have to go through their training and everything. Once you get approved and go active, you sit there and And when you see one come in, you just click to go in there, and then you guys connect and you do the notarization. With One Notary, you bring your own customers, and that's what I do. I bring my own customers to One Notary, and I do it that way. And you do a training with them too, but it's not like with Notarize. The One Notary training is you just watching videos on how to use their platform. But every platform that you sign up with are going to have some type of training or video to show you how to use their platform. So you're not going to be going on there and just, is there a fee for One Notary? All of them charge you a fee. Some of them charge you a monthly fee. Some of them charge you a fee per transaction. So with One Notary, I have their free package, but with my notarization, even though we can charge $25, they take their transaction fee out of my $25, so I only get paid $12 for each notary. And then if a person has multiple documents that I'm notarized, it's $12 for the first one and $6 for every other document. So if like I had one where he had 3 documents, I charged him $12 for the first one and $6 for each other one. So it was an additional $12. So I got $24 for that transaction. Let's see if I answer all the questions up here. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Okay, did you guys have any other questions? Okay, well, I am going to stop recording right now.